At the dawn of Kali Yuga, Janamejaya Maharaj Sarpayag nearly wiped out the Nagas, but a young rishi intervened and stopped the sacrifice. However, the true mastermind behind saving the Nagas was Vasuki. To understand how this unfolded, we went back to the birth of the Nagas. Kashyapa Maharshi's two wives, Kadruva and Vinata, were blessed with children. Kadruva bore 1,000 Nagas while Vinata had two sons. Years passed and Vinata's second son Suparna was finally born, strong, mighty and destined for greatness. But because of his mother's slavery, he too was forced to serve Kadruva and the Nagas. Determined to set his mother free, he struck a deal with the Nagas. In exchange for their freedom, he would bring them Amrit, the nectar of immortality. Now, our Suparna was ready to continue his quest, to face Indra and claim the Amrit. But could he really stand against the mighty king of Devatas? Would Indra allow him to take the divine Amrit without a fight? And what about the Nagas? Would they finally be freed from their mother's curse, or was there another twist awaiting them? Watch till the end to find out. Namaskaram everyone. I am Visalakshi, a passionate storyteller on a pursuit to introduce the Indian epics and stories to the world. Through this series, I aim to narrate Mahabharata in a captivating and engaging way so that everyone can immerse themselves in the world of Mahabharata, understand its essence, and learn the valuable lessons it holds. If you find my explanation interesting and want to support my pursuit, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the Visalakshi verse to learn Mahabharata and many more incredible Indian stories. Indra noticed negative vibes and asked his guru Bruhaspati about it. Bruhaspati replied, "Remember the curse given by the Valakirya Maharshis to you during Kashyapa's Putrakameshti Yagam? When Kashyapa Maharshi was expecting children, he performed the Putrakameshti Yagam and invited many rishis, even Indra. The Valakilya Maharshis, who were friends of Kashyapa, also came to the Yagna. These rishis were known for their small size and ascetic powers. Since it had rained the previous day, the land was slippery and the rishis were struggling to walk. Indra laughed at them loudly. The rishis became furious, because instead of offering a helping hand, Indra laughed at their difficulty. They cursed Indra saying, "The next Indra will be born to our friend Kashyapa. He will be 1,000 times more powerful than you. He will defeat you and become the ruler of Swarg." Indra was terrified. He immediately apologized and requested Kashyapa Maharshi to convince the rishis to take back their curse. Upon Kashyapa's request, the rishis modified their curse saying, "The Pakshindra, king of the birds, will be born, and although he will be more powerful than you, he will never fight for the throne." Indra reminisced about the events and asked his guru, "What shall we do now?" Bruhaspati replied, "He is very powerful. It's better if we step forward and fraternize with Suparna." Indra responded, "Is he that powerful? Then let me witness his power." Suparna reached the place where the Amrita Kalasham was placed. It's not easy to break through because the area was heavily guarded, and anyone who want to have Amrit need to cross 4 deadly hurdles which can rip off the person very badly. But that didn't scare Suparna. As Suparna moved forward, many warriors surrounded him, attacking with powerful astras. But Suparna, with his unmatched strength and skill, effortlessly defeated them. Yet more of Indra's men joined the fight, and a fierce battle broke out. Suparna relentlessly fighting with a lot of powerful men. The air was thick with violence and the atmosphere terrifying. Every strike, every blow echoed through the battlefield. Though it was tiring, Suparna fought with grace and power, defeating one warrior after another. Eventually, the defense slowed down. Many were badly injured. Some fled in fear, but Suparna showed no sign of stopping. Finally, unable to withstand Suparna's power, Indra's men stepped back. Joyful from his first victory, Suparna moved forward. His next challenge was already waiting. A massive wall of fire. The flames roared with such force that they seemed to consume the thin air around him. It was a terrifying sight, a challenge that seemed impossible to overcome. The heat shimmered in the air, and the ground beneath was scorched to the bone. Anyone who dared to come too close would be reduced to ashes in seconds. The fire was unlike anything Suparna had ever seen. It didn't just burn, it radiated pure destruction. As Suparna drew near, the searing heat seemed to press against him, as if the flames themselves were trying to claim his life. Suparna paused. He knew that charging forward would be certain death. The flames were unrelenting, and no force on earth could stop them, except perhaps something more powerful than the fire itself. How could he survive this impossible challenge? Suddenly, an idea struck. With a roar, Suparna transformed into a giant form and soared into the air. He flew to a nearby river and returned, holding massive volumes of water tightly in his mouth. With one swift motion, he splashed the water across the fire, and in an instant, the flames were snuffed out. Suparna stepped forward only to face a new challenge. A giant spinning wheel made of sharp blades. The blades were spinning so fast that they could slice a person into pieces in an instant. Suparna thought quickly and shrank to a tiny size, small enough to disappear from sight. With incredible speed, he darted through the spinning blades, avoiding harm. Just as he thought he made it, two massive snakes appeared, guarding the Amrita Kalasham. Suparna fought with everything he had. The battle was fierce, but in the end, he defeated the snakes. With their defeat, he finally reached the Amrita Kalasham. His heart swelled with excitement as he held the Amrita Kalasham, knowing that this would free them from their slavery. Suparna didn't think about consuming the Amrit for himself. His only thought was to use it to end their suffering. This selflessness impressed Lord Vishnu. With a smile, he appeared before Suparna and offered him a boon, asking him to state his wish. Suparna, with great respect, replied, "I wish to serve you and carry you on my back for the rest of my life, Deva." And that's how Suparna, also known as Garudmanta, became Lord Vishnu's Vahana. As Suparna was leaving Swarg with Amrita Kalasham, Indra came running towards him, praising Garudmanta for his victory, strength, and bravery. He asked Suparna to befriend him. Suparna accepted. Indra then urged him to leave the Amrita Kalasham, but Garudmanta replied, "I need it for a cause. However, let me tell you a solution. You keep following me. I'll give the Amrit to the Nagas, and I'll buy you some time by manipulating them. You can take Amrita Kalasham within that time." Indra agreed, turned invisible, and followed Garudmantha. Nagas excitedly gathered around as Suparna placed the Amrita Kalasham on a bed of darpa grass. He spoke to Nagas. "I have fulfilled my promise. Now me and my mother are free from slavery. Please take a bath and drink the holy Amrit." And he left. As the Nagas went to the bath, Indra took the Amrita Kalasham back to the Swarg. The Nagas frowned when they saw that the Amrit was gone. They cursed their own foolishness. The Nagas, or snakes, licked the darba grass, hoping that the Amrit would have spilled onto it, granting them immortality. But instead, it forked their tongues. And from that moment, the tongues of snakes became forked. As for the darba grass, it absorbed a few drops of Amrit, making it sacred, and also it became capable of shielding against toxins and even gained medicinal properties. Even today, it is used in Ayurvedic treatments and placed on food during eclipses to protect it from the toxic rays. Indra, grateful for Garudmanta's help, offered him a boon. Reminiscing on the deeds that Nagas had done to him and his mother, Garudmanta asked, "In the future, let snakes be my food." This is how the enmity between the Nagas and Garudas, eagles, began. Soon, the Garudas made snakes their prey. And this is the great story of the Nagas and the Garudas, and how the great Garuda, Garudmantha, emerged. Wait, but what about the mystery man who saved the Nagas from the Sarpayag? Let me reveal that for you. Remember when Kadruva cursed the Nagas, saying that they would die in the Sarpayag? The Nagas didn't take it lightly. They desperately sought a solution. One day, the Nagas gathered, discussed this terrible curse. Then, one of the Nagas, Elaputra, spoke. When Kadruva cursed me, I felt a deep fear and sadness. And I hid in Mata's lap and I had a vision or had seen something. In his vision, the Devatas asked Brahma, Deva, why didn't you stop a mother from giving such a cruel curse to her children? This curse would destroy their whole clan. Brahma replied, the Nagas are growing rapidly and causing harm to the mankind. This will only continue to grow. So the curse will reduce the harm. Furthermore, not all the Nagas will die. Only the poisonous ones. Those that have harmed others will perish. Later, Vasuki, the leader of the Nagas, helped the Devas during the Samudra Mathan, churning of the ocean. The Devas thanked Vasuki and befriended him. Concerned about his clan, Vasuki asked for help. Through Brahma, Vasuki learned that a man born to the sage Jaratkarudu would be the one to save the Nagas from the Sarpayag. Vasuki, knowing that the son of the sage Jaratkarudu was destined to save his clan, married his sister to the sage, confident that their union would bring the salvation the Nagas needed. And he was Astika Maharshi. When Astika returned to the Vasuki after stopping the Yag and saving the Nagas, Vasuki felt overjoyed and offered him a boon. Astika Maharshi with respect asked, whoever listens to this story of mine will never fear or be harmed by the snakes or Nagas. Tatastu, said Vasuki, granting the boon. And this is how the mastermind Vasuki saved his clan from the Sarpayag. In the next episode, we are going to witness the love stories that led to the birth of two great clans. The Kuruvamsh, from which the Pandavas and Kauravas were born, and the Yadava clan, from which the Krishna was born. So, how did you find episode 2? Let me know in the comment section. Also tell me which story from the today's episode you liked the most. And do comment if you want to know the story of Samudra Mathan. If you liked the video, hit like and share it with your friends and family. I'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe to the Visalakshi verse for captivating stories from the Mahabharata and beyond, because every tale has wisdom, wonder and a connection to our roots waiting to be discovered.